Good morning, Remy.
Good morning, Breck.
Feels a little off this morning. Well, we are an hour closer to each other this week, and I'm in my living room because in AZ we live in a single wide trailer house, so there's not a lot of space for an office.
And it's not snowing.
It's not snowing. I mean, you have to take the good with the bad. And to be quite honest with you, Remy, after living in my single wide trailer house, I've told my kids know this, my husband knows this. If I ever build a new house, it will be very similar to the layout of this thing. It's so easy. I've never done more laundry in my life. I come down here, Remy, and the laundry is like kind of right off of my kitchen. It's right there. So you do it all the time. Like you're doing dishes. Oh, I'm going to do a load of laundry. Next thing you know, you've got 5 loads of laundry done and you're like, this is amazing. I love it. Do you have stairs in your house?
Yes.
No more stairs. I'm never doing stairs again. I want this simple. I can't have much either. I mean, I'm going to have a big closet because I like clothes, Remy, but
You could just have like a she shed that's your closet.
that's not a bad idea.
And then it wouldn't clutter up your house. Then you wouldn't even have to look at it. You could just be
I like that. I like that. My own dressing room.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
No, but my laundry room is not far from my kitchen. If I ever built a house, I would not put stairs in it either.
No. Your laundry room is not far from your kitchen?
No. So ours is almost like a mud room, which is not a California thing. But we walk in through the side of our house and have the stacked dryers, and then and if you turn right, the stacked dryers right there. If you go straight, you're into our living room and kitchen.
Notice, folks, that she said stacked dryers because Remy has 2 washers and dryers, but she's also got 4 boys. So I totally get it.
And
yeah, like the task that never ends. Like when you think that you are done doing laundry, you take a shower and there's more laundry to do.
Well, it's like I had all the laundry done before I left last week, and I was only gone for 3 days, and I came home and I was like, how is there this much exponentially more laundry than when I left?
I know. And then you got the rugs, and then you've got bedding, and it's just
and we don't really we don't have a lot of rugs. We have tile floor everywhere. Hold on. We have tile floor everywhere because and we don't get that cold, so we have hides on the floor. We got cow hides, so we don't wash them. But my washer and dryer on the right side are reserved for jackets, bedding, jeans, all the heavy stuff. So,
well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Coffee with the Cowgirl. I'm Brett Kruger.
And I'm Remy Greer.
And things look much different this week than they did last week. Big week. Well, first of all, big shout out and thank you to Christine Walters.
Christine.
No way. Christine. Jeez.
Christine Walters. Yes.
Christine Walters for coming on with us last week. It was our 20th episode, technically our 21st, but 20th episode. So that was a lot of fun having her. And she's super cool. Hustler to the max. I just think it's so cool how her story of building her business, from the ground up, with her partner. It's pretty cool because it's a pretty huge business today.
It's a really big business, so she can cover. We think about her for farm and ranch, and horses, but she can cover you for anything. So if you guys need any insurance, she's licensed in a lot of states. So reach out to her, and it's quotetowin.com. And
I know that.
I think they're going to be at your horse sale now too, right? That's what we're working on.
Yeah, that's what we're working on. But you shared it on the Coffee with Cowgirls page last week, and I need to share it this week too, because that is a question I get asked a lot. There's obviously she covers everything, but the horse insurance piece is everybody's always asking me how and where do we insure a horse? So it's nice to have somebody in our corner and our circle that we can recommend, and somebody who's good too. So we'll share that again. Did she find a house? That's what I wanted to ask her.
Yes.
She did?
She did. She ended up, I think they're going to move into the one place. There's a place that they looked at that she really liked and needs some big repairs. The lady did some of the repairs. So I think that Texas will have a new resident here pretty quickly.
Oh,
But it's got
well,
all come together. But yes, she did. She looked at some other places. And it's funny. She and I were talking because like there's certain things that we take for granted on builds out here, like big spacious living rooms, but smaller living spaces. And
yeah.
she was like, these places are just built differently. I was like, yeah, no, they are. And when my aunt moved to Colorado, I remember she wanted stonework on the base of her house, just for a look. And her builder was like, but why? Like, it's going to be covered in snow. And she's like, I don't care because it doesn't snow here every month. I want it to look this way. So, but it's a very pretty property that she likes. And
I don't feel like I would be a very good home shopper. It would be too much for me.
yeah, I think it's too much for everyone sometimes. I know it's too much for her sometimes too, like she's really good at handling a lot of hectic things, but every once in a while she just needs to take a breath and recharge. So,
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I would never really want to build a house either because that's too many decisions for me that I probably don't even really care about. So yeah, I would rather just like go in somewhere and look at like the models and be like, yes, that is the one I want. Let's be done with this. I have no patience for that kind of thing. I don't know how some people think that would be fun.
I think some people just like it. I don't, I mean, even the remodel in this house I didn't really like, but
It's just too many. It's too
it's
many
what it
questions.
is it seems like it's really fun in the beginning because it's like all the big decisions and like there's still a lot of small things that haven't been finished, like peep this paint behind me because I did not
Got
finish
lots of
paint.
that.
I did not finish painting it. I still need to. But when it starts raining, I'll get all the ticky tacky stuff done. But some people really like it. I know when we had talked about moving, we were going to do like a barn dominium. And again, because we would just put like 2 bedrooms per side of the house
I
and
like that too.
like a giant living space with a big kitchen in the middle. So
I like that too. Well, so last week we said that Remy was on a business trip, and her business trip was the NCHA Futurity in Fort Worth. Remy got to show a horse in the Open Futurity, which is, for those of you who don't know, how many horses were entered in that, Remy? 700.
622 this year.
Yeah, a lot. 622 3-year-olds that have never been shown. Lots of extremely iconic trainers. It's an iconic place. It was a really cool opportunity. And Remy and I were just talking before we went live, and I said to her, things may have not have worked out the way that you had wanted them to, but it's still a chance that you took, and it's a lot of people wouldn't even have taken the chance. So I'm proud of Remy, good, bad, or whatever, indifferent or
Yeah.
otherwise.
No,
She took the chance, and I'm proud of her for going out there and trying and doing it, because what an incredible opportunity. Even though it didn't turn out the way you wanted it to, what an incredible opportunity to show in such an iconic place.
no, yeah. It was a weird deal. I had a client that bought a very nice 3-year-old who was a little behind. I sent her with another friend of mine that's a trainer, Eric Weishart, and he put in a lot of work in the last really month and a half to try and get this mare ready. I couldn't go to pre-works, which is for those of you that don't show horses, they're like mini horse shows where you're not
A
judged. But
mock show.
it's like it gets the horses ready to do it. And so I couldn't go to the pre-works because we had a lot of stuff going on here. I flew in, I rode her a couple times. I mean, I rode her here at the house. I rode her a couple times back there. And then, I had like an amazing turnback crew talking about like heroes, like Morgan Cromer settled the herd for me, turned back for me. And like, she is ice cold, man. Like,
Really, are you just like in that moment you're down? Like, I get goosebumpy and a little teary eyed when I talk about things like this. I mean, to be quite honest with you, I probably would never want to do that, but I think that like I do get a little teary eyed because I'm like, that's such a cool moment. Like, Morgan Cromer is one of your idols, and you're down there in the tunnel. She's out there doing that for you. I mean, how it freaking amazing. is so cool. I mean, nobody gets that, Remy. Not a lot
No,
of people
so
get that.
it was super awesome to have Morgan out there, and then I had Eric in my corner, and Monty turned back for me, and I can't remember the name of the guy that was in my other corner. And came out, first cow was good. We talked about which my second cow was going to be, and I had two options, and I chose the one I felt better about, and I chose wrong. I chose real wrong, and I just kind of got the mare tried. I just got run over, and it's not her fault. It's not anyone else's fault. I mean, it's just it was. I was one of a lot of zeros. I'll put it that way in the futurity. And I came out and I was talking to Morgan and Monty and Eric, and Monty goes, "Look, on my first cow, you jogged out there, dropped your hand." He's like, "Yeah, we got this." And I was like, "Yeah, but then we didn't have this." So then I texted them later and I go, "Thank you. I'm sorry I sucked." And Morgan said, "Well, we all sucked a lot to get here. Like we all sucked a lot to get here." And then Monty later had not so good a go, and he texts me back and he goes, "Yeah, apparently I still suck sometimes." So, but it is cool, and it's cool to know those guys. It's cool to watch them, and like I got to watch Morgan make her first go on her first horse there, and she is, man, like she is ice cold. She is a competitor, and she's awesome and very funny and very nice, and so it was neat. It was an experience. I ate a lot of good food. I drank some nice wine. We had we went into a restaurant. They had a drink called like the painkiller. It said limit two per customer, right? So my
You
clients
drink that?
so my client's daughter's really funny. And she asked the waiter, she goes, "Why is it limit two?" He goes, "So you'll order it? Because if we tell you can only have two, you're gonna for sure order it." So we all split one. It was for me, it was way too sugary. Like it tasted like Hawaii, which is not really what I want to drink when I'm drinking, but it was an experience, but it's a lot. That was a lot of sugar, and really not a lot of alcohol, but a lot of sugar.
I don't like drinks that. Yeah, I don't like the fruity foo
Yeah.
drinks either. I like Coors Light. Period.
So, but it was a lot of it was a good couple of days away. We stayed in an Airbnb on Lake Worth. It was fun. It was a nice little getaway, and I got to show horses. So
I'm proud of you. I think it's awesome, and what an opportunity. Way cool. What else? What else? What else? What else? It is Thanksgiving week.
it is upon us, which means it's almost time for Christmas.
I know. I seems like it came so fast. I don't know.
So how do you do Thanksgiving in your single wide?
In our single wide?
Yeah.
Well, so I have my outside porch area is pretty big. So I've got like a farmhouse table outside, and you know, I love small spaces with a lot of people, Remy. So Halloween's your favorite holiday, and Thanksgiving's my favorite holiday.
See, Thanksgiving is my second favorite holiday.
Yeah.
Christmas is actually my third. Christmas is, it's not always the top of my list. I love Thanksgiving because I love food. I love Thanksgiving seems to be a little less stressful than Christmas. So
Yeah. I think that for me, I love the Thanksgiving food. But I think that the reason I've always loved Thanksgiving is because it signals the start of the holidays, right? It's the start of the holiday season, and it's different for me here. I will say that because I've always been a basic white girl, lover of the seasons. But and I've always loved the snow. Um, I was a huge decorator for Christmas, like big time. My whole family is huge. My sister has a freaking Christmas cottage. It's a real thing. It's a house. It's a Christmas cottage that is decorated year round. It's Christmas is a big deal in my family, but since we've done the Arizona winters, it's just a different feel because there's no snow. It doesn't feel like the holidays.
I mean, it's supposed to be 80 here on Thanksgiving, so
Yeah, it's a little different. Well, you don't know any different than this. I do. I know snow. I know cold winters, all of it. It feels like Christmas in Minnesota. It does not feel like holiday season here. So it's taken a little bit of getting used to, but I'm a big believer, and we've always been the family that if you don't have a place to go on Thanksgiving, you're more than welcome here. We've had a lot of randoms over the years. Um, very chillax, nothing fancy. I do like to cook. I would what is your favorite Thanksgiving food, Remy?
So I'm like so plain. Like so I don't like stuffing. I don't like cranberries. Like I cut up my turkey and then I mix it into my mashed potatoes with peas and that's all. And Hawaiian. And I eat it with a Hawaiian roll. Like that is all I eat on Thanksgiving. I eat
And
like
you
a little
just
kid.
said that you're here for the food. What?
Yes, because that's amazing. I love butter because we make our mashed potatoes with like a lot of butter, like 50-50 potato to butter. It's my favorite. Actually, I love potatoes in general. So it's just, Thanksgiving gives me an excuse to eat a lot of butter. And then we always have, so we go to my dad's most of the time for Thanksgiving. So there's always like good charcuterie plates. And then I love all the desserts. But I'm not a stuffing girl or cranberry or gravy. Like the whole thought of gravy weirds me out. And I make it and I still don't eat it.
I'm beginning to wonder if we can ever hang out, Remy, with your music choices and now the fact that you don't like stuffing. I mean, the only thing that we have in common to this point is that neither one of us like gravy. I hate gravy. I think it's disgusting.
No, I think and like stuffing depends. So my mom makes like this one with sourdough and it's kind of crunch, like it's got like enough crunch to it. Because I think that's what gets with stuffing is like when it's all soft. Like
I like that.
I need some texture in my food. So my mom has the cubed sourdough. So there's like just a little bit of an edge to it. I like that. I don't know.
You are so bougie. Oh my God. I can't even believe this right now. Stuffing, Remy.
It's
Stuffing.
it's just and I think too, it's like for me, like so it's the whole and I know that people don't really cook all their stuffing inside the turkey, but that's like in my head. I'm like, I don't want it. I don't want it. Like I don't that's why I don't like gravy. I don't want the thing from the inside. And like I know full well most of the stuffing is just put like in, the Corningware dish and then stuck in the oven, but it's still like in my head, I'm like, that came out of a turkey and I don't want it.
I will never forget the very first time I made a turkey. And when I'm not really good at them, I'm kind of worried about it. I don't even know why, but I bought almost a 15-pound turkey this year, and we don't have that many people. But besides the point, I'll never forget the first time I made one. Have you made one, Remy?
Yeah, and you have to reach in there and get the bag with all the stuff out. And it's disgusting. And I
I
love
didn't
turkey.
know
Like,
what
and
was
I
in there.
love turkey. I love turkey. And I'm just always like, oh.
I didn't know what was in there. And so I'm like doing the thing with the turkey. Oh, I think it says to wash it out. And I was washing the cavity of the turkey out, and I'm like, oh my God,
It's a surprise.
what
A
up
woman.
is this, Brandon? There's something in the turkey.
You should have thought of it like a cereal box toy. It's a
Oh
surprise
my
for you.
God. It's so gross. And then you have to go from the other end to make sure you get all that stuff out. Okay.
So
Moving on.
how do you guys make your turkey?
I used to deep fry it, but the deep fryer is so big and it takes up so much space. Also, not only does it take up space, it takes like $30 worth of oil to do the turkey in it. But that's easy because you just put the turkey in it and leave it, walk away, and it's good. But Brandon told me I couldn't bring it with, so I'm just gonna
You,
put it in the oven. I don't
you
know.
could have Amazoned that too. You could have
I
probably.
could have Amazon that. um, no, I don't. Why do you cook it differently in the
No,
oven?
well, sometimes we smoke it. Sometimes we. My dad used to deep fry it a lot. Or used to use the fryer. When I do it here, I do like the sage and rosemary and thyme and lemon and butter and all of that in the bag. So
Yeah, I don't know if that's gonna happen or not because I don't know if it's in my cupboards and I'm not going back to the grocery store. I've been there twice this week, Remy, and it's just nuts in there. In
yeah.
fact, I was there last night and I couldn't even get a cart. I got in there and there was no carts. We had to go back out to the parking lot to get a cart. Things that don't happen in Minnesota.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm like, I'm not going back to that place anytime soon.
So I don't have to worry about it anyway because my dad's doing it. My mom and I will do it. My mom's going with us down there, but we will do another Thanksgiving dinner next week.
Oh, yum. 2 times. No, the gravy thing, in all seriousness, Brandon asked me last night, he's like, I got a serious question here. Who's cooking the gravy? Do you think we can have that shipped? I'm like, I know. I don't like gravy, so I don't make it.
Yeah.
And Brandon likes something called ham gravy. His grandma used to make it. Do you know what ham gravy is?
No, we got to use the ham bone for that too.
I don't know.
You're like, I don't know.
I don't know how they make it. All I know is oh, I just don't like it. I'm not making it. I don't know how. I like mashed potatoes, but I like my mashed potatoes with cream cheese and sour cream. So
That's a new way. I do a lot of butter in my mashed potatoes.
oh, and butter, yeah.
And
Something
then
super healthy for you.
super healthy. Sometimes I do sometimes we do cheese in our mashed potatoes. Sometimes I do the hit for Thanksgiving we do the heavy whipping cream.
Yeah, so I like all of that in mine.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna try. So I've been cooking my potatoes in chicken broth. I'm gonna try a beef stock this year and see if that makes a difference.
Look at you.
Look at me. And I also put shallots and garlic in my water, or like in my broth when I boil them.
I
So
don't even know what shallots are, Remy, to be
you okay? So you should, and next time you go to the market, you should get one because it's a cross between an onion and garlic, and it's amazing.
really.
Yeah,
I'm not even sure that I would know what to do with that.
you gotta brown it when you cook. You put it on steak. You put it in soup. I eat it on like I eat it on most things.
Interesting. I learned something new this morning.
Look at me. Look at me teaching you stuff.
You are. Um, so in honor of Thanksgiving week, Remy and I thought we'd talk about what we're thankful for. And the things. Drop in the comments what you're thankful for this holiday season as well. So, Remy, have you thought about it?
I'm thankful for a lot of things. I just think a lot of the things I'm thankful for are also stress inducing.
For sure.
So, it's like I'm thankful for my kids being healthy and funny and loving. So there was a person detected on my driveway, but it showed me the picture and it was my dog. So it was not a person. It was a dog. I was like, there should be no one on my driveway at 512. I'm thankful for my husband. I am thankful for my mom. I am thankful for a barn full of amazing clients that give me really nice horses to ride. And I'm thankful in particular for Monica for giving me an option to go with Futurity because otherwise I would have never made it there. And I know that we're talking about something we already talked about earlier, but it's true. I had someone that believed in me and I was talking to you on the phone and I came back in the house and she goes, "Are you worried?" I said, "Well, no, not really. I'm just a little bit nervous. I don't want to disappoint you. I don't want to disappoint myself. I don't want to disappoint Eric. I don't want to let the filly down." And she looked at me and she goes, "The only person you're allowed to be disappointed in then is in yourself." She goes, "You can't be disappointed for me. You can't be disappointed for anyone else." She goes, "And you shouldn't be." And she goes, "But if I didn't have faith in you, we wouldn't be here anyway." So that was kind of amazing to have someone have that much faith in you, and give you that opportunity. And but man, I got a lot of nice horses in the barn. Like I was I got most of the horses out yesterday. Some of the clients were there, so I didn't ride those horses. They rode theirs. But as I was putting sheets on all of them because we don't blanket yet. Like it gets cold at night, but it warms up so fast I can't get heavies pulled in time. But I'm walking down and I was like, there's really not one horse in this barn that I wouldn't be comfortable taking down the road and riding. And so we worked for a long time to get that business, to have horses that are that nice consistently in the barn, and to have clients that trust you to go find them the right horses. So, it's nice to walk through a barn full of pretty ponies that can do a lot of things. And then I'm thankful for a lot of cows. I'm thankful for all the opportunities we've had this year. And I'm thankful for realizing how much certain friendships have meant to me. And I've really grown in understanding how much I need those friendships. And so I really am. I'm thankful for all the people I have in my life. And I didn't think I'd be that way. I was an island. I was okay. I was allowed to be all by myself.
By yourself. Yeah.
And I'm not. And it was funny. It was like Brandon told me to make sure I slowed down. I apparently slowed down too much of the futurity. But Christine sent me a message and she said the same thing. She goes, "You need to slow down and drive your cow out way farther than you thought." And I didn't drive it out far enough. But those same people, after you failed and failed big, they're the ones texting you like, "Hey, I'm proud of you. You did a good job. You tried. You did all those things." And so they were there for the fun part of it, and they were there to try and pick me up at the end of it too.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thankful for all those things. And then I'm thankful for 72-degree weather at the moment. I mean, it's like 35 right now, but I have a very thin sweater on in my house. So
Me too.
you don't have a blanket on today.
I don't. I don't even know what it is in our house right now, but it is nice. Well, like most things, Remy has a really intrinsic answer where mine is a lot more simplified. I thought about it a lot too. And I guess the simple or the best way for me to put it is I'm just so thankful to live in a country where we're allowed to do what we dream of doing every day. I mean, I don't really watch the news, but I know that there's a lot of people who don't get that luxury. They don't get to step outside their door and they don't get to, um, they just don't get to do the things. They don't get to do the things like the simple things that we take for granted, like being able to step outside of our house in the morning and go clean our stalls in peace, know that we're safe, um, be able to have the animals and have kids that we really don't, you worry about them, but unlike there's a lot more people, or there's a lot of people who their kids wouldn't be able to go down the road or go on a bike ride safely. Just the very littlest things that we get to do on a daily basis. I'm thankful for all of that.
And we get to have a podcast where we can say what we want without
Yeah,
fear of any real retribution from the government or anyone else.
correct. Yeah. So the simplest way I can put it is I'm just thankful to live here and wake up and do what we love every single day or try. Um, Even though we're scared by it, it causes us a lot of stress. We still do it. And we get to do this and we get to connect with lots of women, men across multiple states, multiple regions.
Couple different countries, if you look at our analytics.
Yeah. And hopefully help somebody with something.
No, and I had a conversation with a girlfriend yesterday, and she was saying, she had said something and she got some backlash, and she said that's why it's so important what you guys are doing on your podcast, because it does make people not feel alone. It shows people that there's support out there, that they're not the only ones that think in a certain way, and that it's okay to be a little bit different than what everyone else thinks you should be. So I'm thankful for that too, for this connecting us to other people and helping people and giving hope to people out there.
Correct. And we are not perfect. I think that neither one of us strive for perfection. We strive to every day. And we make
Sorry, I think I got COVID on the plane. Not really. I really don't have COVID, but I got sick on the plane.
Like I've heard several people, sorry, I heard several people have influenza A right now, Remy. Hopefully that's not you.
No, I just got that, like that flying crud, and then I think just the wind, like, because we have Santa Ana winds, it's been blowing out here. So I think it's like allergy. I don't know.
I think I have allergies right now. My nose is running like crazy. But we try to right our wrongs, or I think that we both know when we've been shitty humans and we're not happy with that. We're not happy with ourselves. I think that it's important that we share the people that we really truly are, and I feel like we do that, and it's helpful for others maybe in their journey.
No, and I think, this kind of leads into something else I want to talk about, like the hard part of the holiday season. Like I always joke, like 'tis the season for toxicity, right? Because you want to make things right with your family and friends over the holiday season. And you allow a lot of bad behavior in the name of the holidays, right? You allow people to judge you or tell you things because, it's the holiday season and we need to be together and we need to be one. But going into the holidays, it's really important to remember your boundaries. Remember that you're not a shitty person, no matter what backhanded thing gets said over the Thanksgiving table, because for all of us out there, there will be something said, right? Maybe not for all of us. Maybe not everyone's as dysfunctional as us.
Please write it down so we can hear about it next week.
Yeah, but it's one of those things like where people will say things and they either say it's oh, I was just joking, or oh, we're family so we can say this. You can't say those things and you can't unsay them after you said them. So if you're out there and Thanksgiving is going to be a little rough, it's a little rough on a lot of people, and you feel like you're judged at Thanksgiving, all you have to remember is it's just one night. It's just one night you have to be around these people, and you don't have to forgive them for everything, but it's just one night. So take a deep breath.
What's funny, Remy, is like, who thought it was ever a good idea to, like, you don't see family for really long periods of time, and then whoever thought it was a good idea to shove them all in a house together for
usually with a lot of alcohol too. Like usually with a lot of alcohol, because
because that's gonna help it.
no, I mean, like yeah, it's rough, and it's rough because what happens is you're like, oh, it'll be okay, and then it's not okay, but it is just one night. So when your mom says something and judges you, or your dad, or your sister, or your uncle, or your cousin, or those friends that you meet up with, which we're past that point in our life, but like, if you're younger and you're listening and all your friends are coming home from college, you're all going to meet up at that bar tomorrow night or tonight.
I'm
Tonight.
kind
I
of
forgot. We're
think
usually
it
on a
sounds
Tuesday.
like fun.
Tonight. Again, it's one night. Like they
I
don't
think
know
it
your
sounds
life.
like
They don't
fun.
know how they don't know how you've changed. I was never big on that. Like once I graduated high school, I was out.
Oh, I didn't want to go back to my high school bar, but I think it's a lot of Thanksgiving night or the night before Thanksgiving. Fun to go.
But yeah, a lot of guys. Sorry, a lot of guys meet up tonight, and it'll make you question some of your life choices. It will make you feel great about other life choices.
It'll make you feel great and question.
But it is one night, and people will say really toxic things around the holidays and just expect you to forgive them because it's the holiday season. Like, no, fuck you. You don't get to be an asshole because it's colder right now. Like, but
Well,
I do. I think the holidays cause a lot of tension for a lot of people. Because again, like you have this idea in your head that it's going to be fun, right? Like we're going to all be around the table and there's going to be all the things and like we're all going to be
it never ends up like it
no, right? Because you see the picture, you see the picture in your head. It's going like it's that Rockwell painting. It's going to be the big glistening turkey and we're all going to be smiling around the table.
No, Remy, it's what happens when you watch too many Hallmark movies.
Yeah. And it's not those things, and then you're setting yourself up for disappointment.
Yeah.
And God, I do. I love Thanksgiving, and I love my family. Like
you guys are like close. You're all there, which it does suck for us that, and I feel like a shitty daughter. I feel like a shitty daughter or daughter-in-law because now we don't go home for Christmas. I mean, my family's in Iowa, and Yeah, so we celebrate by ourselves.
So for us, we go down to my dad's usually on Thanksgiving because for years we used to have to like try and hit like 4 Christmases, right? We'd have to wake up, we would do our Christmas, and then on Christmas Eve we'd go and see his mom, and then maybe his dad, and then maybe try and see my dad. Or my dad really wanted Christmas Day, but I have little kids, and it got to be where like now on Christmas I'm like, we do tacos and tamales on Christmas Eve. Everyone is invited if you want to come see us. Like we have clients and friends that come over. Like we have the most laid back Christmas Eve. It is street tacos.
That's what I like.
Yeah, so street tacos and tamales. We bullshit. We sit out on the back porch and drink,
Like,
and we sit,
It's like how, because sometimes it feels like everything is just, I don't even know how to say it, but street tacos and tamales sounds like it's just help yourself. Let's have
like
fun.
I'm not going to impress you with my meat chop. I mean, the only thing I can impress you with is my meat chopping and onion chopping skills. Like, and the guy, there's a family that's worked for us for a long time, so we buy the tamales from his mom, and they're like amazing. They are so fantastic. It's my favorite. I love tamale season, and we are now in tamale season. So if you live anywhere in Western America, you will hear tamale, tamale, tamale in the parking lots, and that makes me happy. That is my first ringer of the holiday season. And then Christmas Day, like we finally just said no. Like I'm not traveling places on Christmas. First of all, it's fucking miserable. It takes you 4 hours to get anywhere. One year we went up to Big Bear, which is a mountain just north of us. And my dad had a place there. It should take us an hour to get there. I was really pregnant because I was always pregnant. And it took us 4.5 hours. I had to pee so bad. And there was no place to pull over because they were so iced over that if we pulled off, we would get in trouble. So I had to like push my seat all the way back. My mom is behind me. Her leg doesn't bend because she got in a car accident. So I'm trying to pee into a couple. I'm heavily pregnant in the snow. It was so bad.
Oh my God.
And finally we found like a place that like wasn't like there was enough edge, and then I just peed out the side of the car. But I was like, I am stressed out for no reason. Like for what? To go see people that I could have seen somewhere else and I didn't have to drive this far? Like I'm good. I'm out. But okay, so going to food, I forgot about this story. It's from when I was little, and it's about like loving people. So my parents had the big house, right? We had the giant living room. Like we had a formal dining room that we only ate like Christmas and Thanksgiving in, like the full long table and all the silver sets. And and we kind of rotated like for Christmases and Christmas Eves. My mom has 3 sisters. We would kind of rotate between her sisters and her parents and my grandmother's for all the Christmas Eves, right? And then we always did Christmas Day at the house. And but we kind of did the same thing on Thanksgiving. So my mom, I can't remember if it was Christmas or Thanksgiving, but we were making scalloped potatoes to go with. So it must have been Christmas because it's probably going with meat, not with turkey. And so my mom had talked to her sisters about someone making the scalloped potatoes because she was making everything else. Like my mom makes great scalloped potatoes too, so I don't know, but I think it was just one thing off of her plate, right? So our 2 younger sisters get into a fight about how we were supposed to correctly make scalloped potatoes, to the point that they're not talking to each other in the kitchen, and they're both making fucking scalloped potatoes, and they won't tell anyone whose scalloped potatoes are whose. So then you have to give them a vote at the end to see who was right about the goddamn scalloped potatoes.
That sounds like a good idea.
But like it's 4 hours of them and like granted we had a big kitchen, but it's 4 hours of them fighting with each other, crying, and then not talking to each other about scalloped potatoes. And I was like, this is the holidays. This is what it does. It brings out the best in people.
It sounds normal. Well, so my mom and dad retired. And when they retired, they bought an Amish farm. Do you know this?
No, I didn't know this.
They bought an Amish farm in southern Iowa. It's right on the Missouri border. And there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bedrooms upstairs, not including the bathroom, the bathroom is the size of a bedroom. And then there's 1 bedroom on the lower level, which is theirs. And then in the basement, there's also like 3 unfinished bedrooms. It's huge. So I've got two sisters and a brother. I've got two boys. My brother has two boys. One of them is married. My sisters each have two girls. They're both married. They all have kids. So there's a lot of us in there because we do Christmas, all of that whole thing. Except for now, we don't go because we're here. But that's a lot of people under one roof. Thankfully, there's never been any issues, I should say. No fighting, nothing like that. Um, but that was always kind of fun, like a memory, because not many people can say that they have all those people under one roof. It's a lot of people, Remy. Imagine husbands,
Yeah.
kids.
I mean, like, and we never had that experience either because we all lived like in Southern California, so no one really.
You didn't have to stay overnight.
No, So, but I mean, like to this day, I still laugh every time I make scalloped potatoes because I was like, I wonder if I'm doing it right.
So my
But
mother-in-law watches this, and I do have a funny story. So I hope she doesn't kill me, Marge. If you're watching, please don't hurt me for this. But it is funny because it's kind of like a story off of National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. We had Christmas at Marge's mom's one year, and they have a large family. I think there's 6 siblings, and they all have kids, grown kids with kids, and large family. And um, Marge's stepdad, Wally, he's 100 now. So he was probably in his late 80s at this point in time. And I believe that Marge even rented a sleigh. Like she did carriage rides or something like that with draft horses that year too. So we're all in this tiny house in this little town. There was I don't even know. We're talking probably 40 people. Food everywhere, Remy. And there was so much food, and it was like too much for the counter space, too much for the table. And it was all super hot just coming out of the oven. So they said, let's sit it out on the deck. Well, Marge's mom and stepdad are lovers of animals. So what do you think that they were feeding every day outside of their house in town? They were feeding the town cats, Remy.
hey, I was gonna go with raccoon. I was gonna be honest.
No, they set the food out there and go to get it, and here are the town cats in the food. They were eating the freaking food, Remy. Oh my god.
No,
I just died.
I used to have this big yellow lab. And if you told him off, you could put food on his nose and tell him off, and he wouldn't eat it. But if you did not tell him off, fair game. So one Thanksgiving, my cousins were in town from back east, and we have Thanksgiving, and my mom sets all the pies out like on a nice runner, right? And she's got like 5 different pies, and we're talking, and you don't hear anything. And my mom's like, "Oh, it's time for dessert." We walk in there, and there's a tongue mark in the middle of every pie. He didn't even eat them; he just licked the top.
Oh my god!
So
that's funny.
We didn't have any pies. I think we did ice cream, and I think she made some cookies, but there's a lot of funny things that happen on holidays too, and good memories. It's just I think the hard part is you expect it to be one way, and the most memorable thing is that cats ate all your food rather than.
I know it. I thought it was so funny. Yeah, not that I'm very good at this, but what I would say going into the holidays is practice patience. Remy and I are practicing that this last 2 weeks. Patience with ourselves. I think that people get jazzed up over food, making sure it's perfect. You're not going to make everyone happy in your house. So I don't know.
And no matter how pretty it looks, it's not going to look pretty for more than 5 minutes anyway.
Yeah.
I remember my mom, I think it was Thanksgiving. Maybe it was Christmas. My mom always did all the cooking. I always helped her, but she did all of it. And she woke up and she was really sick. Really sick. It must have been Thanksgiving. because I'd done Christmas on my own before. And so that's what she lived with us. She's like, I don't think I can do this. And I was like, okay. So, and it was, and it was our family and then my brother and his wife and their kids and her parents. And I was like, well, this is my first Thanksgiving all on my own. I got to make it all by myself. So, and it was good. It was fine. My brother's wife's dad did the gravy. He does a very nice gravy. He does a good, it smells fantastic. I'm still not going to eat it, but he did the gravy. And like, I don't want to sift the fat off of the top of there's so much I don't want to do with gravy. Like, I know I'm harping on this, but there's so much I don't want to touch with gravy. So
we should talk about it anymore. My stomach's getting kind of queasy.
But, and so but again, like there's all these things that happen around Thanksgiving. Michelle Cheek last year had all this stuff because they kind of have like a bad luck with Thanksgiving. Just kind of like National Lampoons. If it can go wrong, it usually does. So Santa Ana winds are a thing out here. It's like really heavy winds and they turn off our power a lot because they don't want things to catch on fire. So she had no power for all of Thanksgiving. And she was just like, I go, so what are you doing for Thanksgiving this year? And she's like, oh, the boys are going to the desert and I'm leaving for Vegas the next day. So I'm going to stay in my bed and watch Netflix. And I was like, that is a much less eventful Thanksgiving than last year.
Somebody that I worked with, she was actually my old boss. They had a basement refrigerator. She bought her turkey a week prior to Thanksgiving, put it in the basement refrigerator, goes down there to get it on Thanksgiving Day. And the light went out in the refrigerator and the turkey had rotted. Yes.
And we usually do turkey and tri-tip, or turkey and ham. I'm not big on ham. So.
Oh, I love ham.
It's not. I think it's a texture thing for me. And I also don't like a lot of fat, so that's why I don't like ham very much. But my mom loves ham.
Don't like ham. What the hell's wrong with
I like honey baked ham, like the big spiral ham with the brown sugar coating on it. I eat that. Bougie ham. I like bougie ham. You're right. Well, we saw someone and she was like, she's like, honey baked hams are too expensive this year. They're like $100. So I'm going to make my own. And I was like, I have tried to make my own.
I noticed that the other day. Hams are freaking expensive. Like little tiny hams. Like I would not be able to feed my family with that.
Yeah, and honey baked hams are like the big, like the.
Yeah, but I'm saying like hams in general, like I didn't even see the honey baked hams at the grocery store, Remy.
Yeah.
I went to get a ham and I'm like, why are they so expensive? They wanted $40 for like the little one. I couldn't even find them.
Feed prices, man.
I don't know. My turkey wasn't that expensive.
Well, your turkey should have been expensive because there's an avian flu and there wasn't a lot of turkeys.
I don't know.
It's because no one. Because okay, I love turkey. I really do. I'm not saying this, but there's a lot of people that don't like turkey. So I think that they make turkey cheap so people will buy it.
I don't know. The hams are ridiculous right now, though, folks.
Yeah. No. Well, yeah. So going into the holidays, remember, it's just one day. It's just one day.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's one day where you got to be miserable and don't let it ruin the rest of your holidays.
Miserable.
Like I'm dying. It's how about set the expectations low. Go to enjoy the people that you enjoy, and
watch the Thanksgiving Day parade. I love that.
Yeah,
I love.
I'm a Rose Parade girl because I grew up in Southern California. That's our New Year's Day parade, and with all the flowers.
Yeah.
So, and also like the Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade's always on kind of early, so I don't watch that.
Honestly. Well, we wish everybody or hope everybody has a very happy Thanksgiving.
A happy and uneventful Thanksgiving. And if you catch a turkey on fire or have a fight about scalloped potatoes,
we want to hear about it.
We want to know. We want to know that we're not the only ones that invited cats to Thanksgiving.
We hope you have an uneventful Thanksgiving. I hope you have an eventful one because those are the ones that you remember.
So but like funny eventful, not someone locked in the bathroom crying eventful. We want
right.
We want cats on the living room table. We need raccoons, healing ornaments. We
Uh,
need to answer the debate between whipping cream and milk on scalloped potatoes.
Anything that's funny. Share your funniness with us. That's what we want to hear. But and if you have a good ham gravy recipe, please send it our way.
Send it to Breck before tomorrow because
Yeah.
she needs it today so she can go to the market one more time.
Or if you're in the Casa Grande, Arizona area and you'd like to come help make it, that would be wonderful. I won't say no. All right. Well, happy Thanksgiving, Remy.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Wonderful day. And until next week, we'll see
Until
you
next
on
week. And
Monday.
hopefully I get our special guest on when I'm in Vegas. And if not,
Yeah,
we'll catch up
fingers
with you.
crossed.
Fingers crossed.
All right. Happy holidays, guys. We'll talk to you next week. Bye.
Bye.